What's up, everyone? It's Gavin or Tweek.
He just woke up.
It's always next week. There's always.
He said it was going to be serious.
It's always next week.
I wish I never said it because I couldn't.
You
Yeah,
said
Put the
you
pressure on
focused-
yourself,
focused
yeah.
on it,
I
yeah.
put the pressure on myself. My bad. It's Pink or Marcus.
Charles or Chuck?
It's HazMatt. All right, let's get into it. Kagaribi was the tournament of the weekend. Oh, also Frosty Faustings, by the way.
Oh,
Tournament
true.
as well. Yeah. No.
That pit was raw.
Okay. Are we just gonna
We're
get the?
just
I'm doing
right
it.
to it.
I'm
Let's
doing it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So I want to say this.
Okay.
Okay.
Zach Ray is one of the most talented people to ever touch a controller.
Yes.
Facts.
And is one of my top 5 favorite players ever.
Wait.
Ever?
Gluto still won? Is Gluto still
Ever.
won?
Gluto is like all time. Gluto is top 5 at the worst. Yes, Gluto's in there.
Gluto, HazMatt, Zach Ray, Leo. Gets competitive.
Speaking of now that you brought it up, who are your top 5 players all time?
Oh,
I
shit.
wasn't even sure who they are. I just know Zach Ray's in there. But
No, you don't, because you don't know who it is.
Gluto, Zach Ray, ADHD's Diddy Kong and Brawl.
True.
Okay.
True.
Shit.
No way MK Leo isn't on there. There's just no way.
Not top 5.
Leo, I'd put you top 5.
Doesn't
Me
play
too.
any. Doesn't play any characters that interest me,
Me
Except
either.
like-
I don't give a fuck.
except like
Shit's
Cloud
awesome.
and Smash 4.
Hmm.
I mean, it's Leo. Like, he's amazing, but he's just, I don't know.
That dude's
It's
inspirational. What the heck?
He is.
When you
Well-
get into all time, it gets tricky because you got to go into
Yeah.
like multiple Smash games and stuff.
All
like that.
time.
It's so easy.
It is easy.
Oh, really? Wow.
I got
I
three.
can't really think
Three's
of.
pretty
mine.
good.
I know my
Number
top
one.
2. I know my top 2.
Oh, who's your number 1?
Light.
No, Void. And
Void.
my number 2 is
okay.
Tweek, and then my number 3 is Light.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
That's a fire top 3. That is
Yeah.
fire.
But
Okay.
Leo's definitely in my. Leo's probably 4.
All right, Marcus. Let's hear it.
Has? Oh, me?
Top
Music
3, yeah.
King's number 1.
Who?
Music King's number
Oh,
1.
Music King. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
And then Tweak Void tied for 2-3. I don't know. Pick one of them. And then Leo, and then me. I don't give a. I'm not putting myself.
Oh,
in there. What
let's
the
do
heck?
that, dude. I'm super raw. Put me in top 5. Yeah, my
Has?
top 5 are Zachary, Gluto, ADHD, Haz, and Matt.
I thought you say and Tweak. You left yourself off of it again. Damn it.
You
Damn
have to
it.
put Has twice.
My
Yeah.
3, I'll do 3 pretty quick. I'd say, I'll start from 3. Takara, Jazzo, and Vendetta.
No Dom. What
T3
the-
Dom as well, yeah. No, I wanted to do it with 3 Kens is what I wanted to do the joke with. It's hard, man. It is harder than I.
Saying all time is very hard because I also want to put like
Yeah.
Brawl players in there as well. Like,
Yeah.
Bro,
Vex
low-key-
and Vex and Adamus are like were
Fuck.
sick as fuck, and I can't say Coney because that'll just inflate his ego.
Mine's actually just Mars Light and Tweak in any order. Like,
Oh,
That's
Mars.
easy.
Mars would be pretty high
oh,
up there for
obviously.
me.
I don't have a set order. Whichever one of you didn't piss me off the most recently is close to the top.
I guess I'd put Mars 5 if like.
Yeah, Mars
I'm
is
not
high up
including
on my
myself.
list. If he's not top 5, he's definitely deserves like recognition.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. Damn.
All right, moving on.
Anyway, back to
Zachary.
Zach Ray.
Yeah, Zachary.
Back to
told
Zach
you-
Ray's
this-
pit.
This pit is going to take a full fucking hour to talk about, which is great because it was very fun, but we already got off track once. So, all right, Zach Ray, 3rd place at Kagaribi, an incredible tournament. What do they have? 1,800 entrants, 1,700, whatever the hell it
Jeez,
was.
man.
So many entrants, like well over
Ridiculous.
1,500 for sure. And Zach Ray got 3rd, literally all solo pit, if I remember correct. If what's reported is correct.
Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting things to talk about too within the results of the tournament. Going into top 8, like Akula and Ken just
Cooked.
smooth ride in the top 8. I think they both dropped like a game or something each, and like those are two just like the usuals, like in the like. So that's really impressive for them. And Akola won the tournament. Like,
Yeah, of course.
Akola be winning. Congrats to Akola. Like, the consistency is ridiculous. Ashimo is also like a really big name, and also one of those players that's on the small list of playing a character, and something that you hear a lot. Like, I'm sure everyone in this call has said it while watching Ashimo. This is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really defines the character too, because I think everyone thought Ryu was good and even potentially better than Ken at one point, but it was pretty clearly like Ken is better. Ashimo, I'm pretty sure single-handedly changed almost single-handedly changed that. A lot of Kens also started going to Ryu after the buff as well. Like Vendetta has a nice Ryu and all that good stuff for tough matchups. But, bro, Ashimo, the back air bandit, that's my guy right there, bro. He'd be back airing. I love
It is
that
extremely
shit.
impressive. And not only is it different, it's also just genuinely impressive just to watch. And that's interesting because I don't really care for the fighting game characters. In fact, like, I heavily dislike them. Like, I'm usually not interested at all. Not only am I impressed, like, I'm saying this is different. Like, this is special for someone playing Ryu, which is crazy for me personally. But that's a small list, right? And skill doesn't necessarily correlate into someone saying this is different, right? But if we say this is different, it does correlate to their skill. Like, for example, Yoshidora is, like, changing Yoshi's, like, competitive view, right? Like, super ridiculous consistency, placing really high.
Yeah.
But I'm not watching it and saying this is different. It's more so like you're just that good. Like, the different list is kind of small. And the number one example that I think is easiest to remember is always, like, Protoss Lucina. Because that's, like, we started talking about that a lot on this podcast. And it started with that kind of.
Very hard character to be different with as well.
Yes, and some of these characters, it's
Wolf and
strange
Lucina.
that it's even a thing.
Yeah, Lucina, and that's why I think it's the best example, because Lucina is always viewed as, she's good, but she's boring. It's like, not when Proto plays her, though. Like, that was where the difference comes in, it is like magic. Light with Fox, too. He doesn't get enough credit, because he's been
Light with Fox
since
in
day
both
one.
games, too.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Very different
in Smash 4.
Maybe even more so in Smash 4, like, because we
absolutely.
were so used to Fox, like, you knew what was going to happen. It was like a very good flowchart.
He specifically went against the grain in Smash 4, and in Ultimate, he wrote the book. Like, it's different. That's how he's different.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, Zachary's pit, we were in the call talking about it. I'm going to make this official. Zachary is officially the president of Team Fundies. All right? I don't make the rules around here, but salute. Like, you can't get...
Mr. President?
You can't get that high without just having sheer fundamentals with a character like Pitt. And like, the only thing we could point out that was like kind of bullshit where we almost revoked the president's license was those dash tags. Some of those dash tags were a little suspect. Like, I'm like, but they're at like 150, 140.
Yeah, but he's playing Pitt. Like, you gotta do it
I know, but that was like the only thing where I was like, man, having
that
a dash
got
tag that just
buffed.
Yes, that was it was probably, I just think it's funny that the thing that we thought was the most bullshit was getting a kill at 150 with a dash tag. You know what I mean? Oh
like,
my god.
The president of Team Fundies wouldn't do that. They get their kills honestly. But yeah,
but
like,
dude, holy shit.
Such an incredible talent. Like,
all the stuff he was doing, like fair drag downs for edge guards, the arrows,
the jab locks, like
the dares.
He was just so sound with this character.
The 2-frame dares, dude.
And
then when he gets the sour spot, he's like super ready to cover.
He converts anyway, yeah.
Dude, his control over the arrows, I don't know if I'm just crazy, but I suck with Pitt's arrows. I'm really good with Pitt. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm really good with that character, except the arrows. Like,
that's a very important part, though.
It is, yeah.
Because it forces like characters to like play a disadvantage a specific way, so it's just easier to track them if you're Pitt.
It's funny because I think the first set we really watched him play was against Neo, the Corrin.
Yep.
And at first I was like, damn, these arrows are hitting.
Oh, it's pronounced Neo, by the way.
Oh, Neo, thank you. Yeah. Sorry. It's spelled like
Keanu Reeves. If you read it like
Keanu Reeves
in the Matrix, yeah. Neo. Okay, thanks, Chuck. so cool. But I was like, these arrows are amazing, and like we were all like, seriously, that's probably the most we popped up in Discord watching a tournament in like months, at least. And when you sing those arrows, I was like, yeah, but it's against Corrin. Like, there's no way.
You were definitely kind of like doubting. You're like, oh well, it's Corrin. Like, of course,
I'm
you're
not doubting him. I'm
stage.
just like, well, he's playing the matchup
matchup
correctly, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, exactly. But then it didn't fucking stop. Is the thing. Like, it just kept happening. Like, if it wasn't arrows, he would force you to go low anyway and go to the ledge, and then he'd down air you. Like, it was insane, man. But that set against Nao was just incredible. That's where we all started to like come to life, man. That was so fun.
Also, shout out to Nao. Like, incredible placement with a character like Corrin. I don't know if Nao went solo Corrin or not, but
I think so.
It looked like it. And I think that's another thing that makes Japan, I think overall, even like top level wise, there was the crew battle at Genesis, right? I don't think it's a hot take by any means if you say Japan's the strongest region. And I've always said this, Japan is also the strongest region when it comes to their mid-level players, their high-level players. Like, their skill gaps are very few in between. And I think a big part of it is because the culture of solo maining that is in Japan. There are some players that play multiple characters. Zachary obviously played a bunch of characters when he was playing a bunch of meta characters, right? Now he's like going pit, and he won a tournament with Sora when Sora first came out. So obviously Zachary is very flexible, and there's other players like that in the history, right? Like Abadongo was a player that played a bunch of meta characters and stuff. Now Ken has 2 characters, but for the most part, when you look at the scene, most of the players just stick and they solo main, and they know they drive the meta for individual characters so much farther. And I was actually talking with some of my like Smash 4 homies that I saw at MSM the other day, and they went to Japan. And one of my friends, he played Little Mac, and he was like, yeah, when I played against Now, it was interesting. He wasn't doing like regular Mario combos. He was doing things that just like throw combos into forward tilt. Yes, shout out to Void. Like just
Smash 4 homies, yeah.
Right, like so they just know the match. I feel like they know matchups way more in depth because the culture in America or NA is like, oh, what wins? What's like top 5? What's top 10? Oh, what's the easy pocket pick? Like Pocket Palu, Pocket Wolf, right? That was super prominent pre-quarantine. And I think now, since Japan's meta was so focused on just focusing on their character and learning these matchups and deep diving into these characters, they're reaping the rewards for it. Whereas other regions kind of seem like they're falling behind on all levels of play, right? Top, high, and mid. Nodders.
True. Yeah, let me see what else we got here for his run. Because Zachary won 11 sets in losers? Yeah. Is that correct?
Well, it's just such a huge tournament, and he went to losers early. Like, it was crazy, like, on the stream, and it'd just be like, yeah, winner's round 7. It's just like, yeah, this is just a huge tournament. Like,
yeah, that's a lot of people.
Like, you know, there's players like Hikaru and Kamame that, like, barely get outside of top 8 and stuff. And those are some other players that are really, like, pioneering.
Jeez, look at this run, man. Choco, like...
It's insane.
I mean, bro, like Shuton got 17th at this tournament. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Losing to Jazzo, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Jazzo was there.
Jazzo was there. What the?
Super crazy.
That was fun to watch.
It was random as hell. He was just there, which is
Jazzo had a great set with Aquila. Good job.
Yeah. He played the Steve matchup very well.
Yeah, he's very good at it, and even back at Summit, we were talking about it, and he's confident against Steve.
Yeah, he's like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, which is awesome because most Kens opt to go Ryu in that matchup or pick another character entirely, but not Jazzo, man. Like you said, a solo main, right, Chuck? Looking at the game a different way.